There may be a stunning change in WNBA history as something is stirring in Indianapolis. Quiet adjustments in the Fever's front office indicate the unthinkable. It's possible that Caitlin Clark is about to be traded. Although it may appear illogical, there are numerous indicators. After reading this, you'll gain a new perspective on the Fever's future. I've been following the WNBA for a long time and can always tell when something isn't right behind the scenes. The atmosphere in Indianapolis currently feels odd, like a missed foul call in the waning seconds of a deadlocked championship game. Suspicious clues accumulate gradually. No one wants to admit what the complete picture could reveal.
Buy some new Caitlin Clark gear when they fumble her and she ends up on a different team. And I've said, I thought the Indiana Fever were the best place for her. Midwest team, not far from Iowa. I think a lot of people, I looked forward to driving to Indiana, okay? I think that area aligns with her fan base. But I wonder if the Indiana Fever understand that. So, and the other thing is, and we're gonna take a look at this.
I've seen the Scott Agnes article here, where he basically said that Caitlin Clark, basically that Caitlin Clark brings a dark side to the Fever, and her fan go trade Caitlin Clark. It's as simple as that. And we are hearing, just like we had heard from some Mavs commentators, Stephanie White being one of them, a little bit before the Mavs traded Luka Doncic, we were hearing rumblings of the Mavs are better without Luka. All these negative things. We were hearing rumblings of negative things from Luka and negative effect of Luka Doncic on the Mavs organization.
Here's what makes this extra crazier. Caitlin Clark is not just another player. She is the player. The individual responsible for elevating the Fever from a joke in the league to a major news story. The reason your grandmother now understands what a Logo 3 is. The franchise's unmistakable icon. She is basketball royalty. Yet here we are, muttering about the impossible. The future without her in Indiana. Remember Stephanie White's return to coach the Fever? Everyone described it as a dream pairing. A championship-caliber coach meets generational talent. Can't miss it, right? However, something is simmering beneath the surface. It's not aesthetically pleasing. According to team sources, conflicts extend beyond plays and rotations to power dynamics and franchise direction. Caitlin Clark is at the core of all this. Clark's season has been tough. Quad injury, groin trouble, and ongoing setbacks. For a player who never missed a game in college, this seems strange. When she feels stressed about her role, she changes into casual clothes and sits on a bench. And this is where things get even spicier. According to multiple sources, Stephanie White wants Caitlin to play off the ball, which is similar to asking Michael Jordan to set screens or a Ferrari to cart groceries. There is a larger issue at hand that is not being acknowledged. Clark maintains a courteous demeanor throughout interviews, which is evident in her body language. When asked about sharing the backcourt with another point guard, she sighed before responding. This is not the energy of a happy celebrity. Then came the strangest twist. While Clark was recovering from her latest injury, the Fever won the Commissioner Cup. They not only won, but also dominated the conference, leading Minnesota Lynx by 74-59. Coach White praised the team's improved teamwork, defensive identity, and overall cohesiveness. It sounded more like an audition tape for life after Caitlin Clark than a post-game press conference. This is when it gets even spicier. According to sources, Stephanie White wants Caitlin to play off the ball, which is similar to asking Michael Jordan to set screens or a Ferrari to cart groceries. So, guess what? The same rumors are now beginning in Indiana. Some beat writers have published articles saying that Caitlin Clark's followers have a negative influence on the franchise. Fans, who purchase tickets and wear jerseys to keep the Fever alive, are now viewed as a problem. There is a deeper issue at hand that is not being acknowledged. In the front office of the Indiana Fever, the staff appears to be the most knowledgeable. They understand exactly what Caitlin Clark delivers. They are afraid of the attention, pressure, and expectations that come with it. Rather than dealing with the chaos and continual limelight of having a generational superstar, they prefer to have a competent team that is not widely known. For decades, teams have struggled with the small market mindset. Play it safe. Stay under the radar. Avoid the pressure. Let's chat about Carolyn Peck, Stephanie White's former college coach and close friend. Caitlin Clark's absence has led to an increase in her presence.
Come on.
Do you believe she would have texted her friend Stephanie before releasing that information to the media? There's no chance. This isn't a coincidence. This demonstrates synchronized messaging. This is where things get real. The Fever will not trade Caitlin this season or tomorrow. They are too smart for that. Instead, they want to capitalize on the popularity of Caitlin Clark for a few more years while ticket sales remain high. They are discreetly preparing for her escape. The focus is turning away from Caitlin Clark and the Fever and onto Fever basketball. They are gradually developing an identity that is not solely focused on her. When the right time comes, such as when a draft star like Sarah Strong emerges, they may flick the switch. The team will trade Caitlin for draft selections and cap space, with the goal of maximizing future value. Here's the crazy bit. They'll likely convince themselves it's the proper decision. They'll point to the Commissioner's Cup win without her and say, "See, we can win without drama." Buzzwords like team culture and sustainability may sound impressive in press conferences, but they are meaningless in a half-empty arena. This is my main source of motivation. Caitlin Clark salvaged the franchise. Prior to her arrival, the Fever was insignificant, since she performed in front of crowds that would make a tiny library appear crowded. She energized and focused a squad in need. They are now attempting to blame her for the situation. Consider criticizing the sun for being very bright. What could be more insulting? Her injuries have been managed poorly, with imprecise updates and timelines, and no new harm discovered. What does this even mean? This appears to be legalese, implying a lack of transparency on the situation. During her absence, the team has experimented with lineup changes to see how the squad will perform without her. That is not an accident. That is preparation. It's not just about the Fever. This is about the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is more than just an Indiana star. The WNBA's most popular player has significantly increased attendance, ratings, and national attention. Trading her would not be solely a team issue. The potential for a league-wide crisis exists. Imagine if the Lakers had moved Magic Johnson during his heyday because they couldn't handle Showtime. This is the level of craziness we are discussing. Some argue that their top player would never be traded. Many sports franchises have made similar mistakes throughout history. Teams who prioritize comfort and politics over performance are doomed to regret their actions. This is what stings the most. Caitlin Clark wishes to reside in Indiana. She said it repeatedly. She loves the fans, the city, and the organization. Recently, her tone has transformed. She is focusing on the next few years rather than her entire career there. That is not a slip of the tongue. That's a superstar reading the writing on the wall. The question remains, if she is not in Indiana, where will she go? Honestly, every team in the league would want her. Imagine Caitlin Clark and Sabrina forming the most dynamic backcourt in women's basketball history in New York. Imagine her running with Aya Wilson in Las Vegas, creating a seemingly perfect dynasty. Seattle. The franchise would be handed over to her, and she would be tasked with leading the Storm to new heights. The options are infinite. Everyone feels more fascinating than witnessing Indiana self-destruct in real time. But here is the truth. I don't want Caitlin Clark to leave Indiana. Fever fans deserve better than that. They have persevered through lean years, irrelevance, and empty arenas. They have earned the opportunity to witness a generational talent develop right in front of them. If the front office continues to treat her as a problem rather than a solution, she may benefit from a fresh start. Here is the irony. The Fever believe they are creating something sustainable. However, they are creating a fragile structure. Perhaps they'll win some games without her. Even if she makes it to the playoffs, her absence from the spotlight can cause casual viewers to lose interest and diminish her relevance. They'll eventually recognize what they've lost. And by then, it will be far too late. This squad has a history of being underappreciated and undervalued. Caitlin Clark's arrival alters their trajectory and reestablishes their significance. However, they still view prosperity as a burden. It's similar like winning a lottery and then whining about the paperwork required to claim the prize. Don't forget about the loyal Fever fans who have been there since the beginning. They deserve better than this passive-aggressive drama. They deserve an institution that welcomes brilliance, not one that avoids it. Caitlin Clark's fans deserve to see her in a Fever shirt for the foreseeable future, rather than always anticipating her next move. The Indiana Fever are at a crossroads. Option 1 involves focusing on the superstar and creating an outstanding experience around her. Option 2. Continue stumbling through leaks and internal drama and watch history repeat itself. The choice should be obvious, but the decision-makers may not perceive it that way. Keep your eyes open. Keep an eye out for anonymous sources, pieces criticizing Caitlin's fanbase, and cryptic injury reports that lack explanation. Also, pay attention to how she is used on court. Is she still the center point, or is she being phased out? We've seen this story before. A superstar conflicts with management. Narrative shift. A trade occurs, and everyone reacts with disbelief. Different leagues, same human nature. Ego, power, and short-sighted decisions. It never changes. So, this is my message to the Fever. Wake awake. This player has the potential to define your team and the league for the next decade, making them a rare and generational talent. Don't let fear, ego, or narrow-minded thinking ruin it. Trading Caitlin Clark is losing more than simply a player, but also a part of yourself. Mark my words, if nothing changes, this transaction will happen. Don't be startled when this happens. The warning indicators are already present. Should Caitlin stay and pressure Indiana to improve, or should she go to pursue her abilities in a more supportive environment? Please let me know in the comments. If you care about the future of women's basketball, hit like. Please share this with other Fever fans and subscribe while the drama is still in its early stages.